5, 10, 15, 20, and we're live. Hey, welcome to the Psy Tai Podcast with your host, Just Ty. Ty, T-A-I, not T-H-I, like the food, where we combine our mind. That's where you at now. We combine our mind with our hearts, see what our gut is saying, connect all those three circles, and we let whatever come out. What they do? They just come out. You guessed it perfectly. Thanks for coming on by. I very much appreciate this awesome day that you're spending in the Thai zone over here in Thailand. This is the Psy Tai Podcast. Y'all know how it goes. The link to the Discord is in the description. That's a place where you can come and call, ask questions. Ty will ask me questions, ask yourself questions on live on air, and then answer your own question. Like, it goes however it flows over here. You already know. I have a poem that I actually want to start out with. It's a song, but I don't want to get copyrighted because I'm in high dangerous territory. I'm in Prince territory. Hey, Piano Key. Shout outs to Piano Key. Piano Key over there in the chat. It's a song by Prince. I want to play it, but I'm going to read the lyrics to it. Because the way Prince people come after you when you mess with his music, I don't have the time of day. But the song is called Controversy. And I'm going to make it big just in case y'all don't like how I read. I know a lot of people. Shout out to that blonde DMT video, the most hated video I ever uploaded, according to the comments. Even though I made a second video. If y'all check out that video, DMT thing with the blind man, I made a second video. I reread it. I took out the music and all of that. People still want to be trolls and leave comments. I'm like, y'all just silly because y'all don't see it up. Y'all know y'all see I remade it. All right, but here it is. Hey, Domain M. Dwayne M. New to the Thai side. But the song's called Controversy. And it was like, it's like, I just can't believe all the things people say. Controversy, am I black or white? Am I straight or gay? Controversy, do I believe in God? Do I believe in me? Controversy, and then just that first line right there, I just can't believe all the things people say. It's always something going on, people bickering and stuff. Am I black or white? Am I straight or gay? You know that's what they ask, man. Them questions, for some reason, those are the hard-hitting questions of today's times. Even when Prince wrote this song. Are you black? Are you white? That's what's most important. Are you straight? Are you gay? Just let me know. I just want to know. How is that going to change your life? It's just something that I know now. It's just more things to dispute about. Do I believe in God? Do I believe in me? Controversy. When I saw that line, when I read that line, well, when he sung that line, I was like, whoa. Do I believe in God? Do I believe in me? He was saying this back then, causing controversy. When they say controversy after that, I was like, he caused the controversy by saying that out there. Like, do I believe in God? Do I believe in me? God, me. The God in me, the God as me, the God is me. He was living that. I can't understand human curiosity. Controversy. Was it good for you? Was I what you wanted me to be? And I guess that's the curiosity. I was trying to combine those two lines or see if they're separate bars. Like, I can't understand human curiosity, because I would think that he would be able to. But, but if I tie it in here, was it good for you? Was I what you wanted me to be? I understand that. Falling for love, doing it for love's sakes. I know I do that a lot. I do a lot of things. I have a lot of patience with a million things that I do. A million things because I actually love it. And it is like, after you spend a lot of time with it, you like, man, was my love just taken advantage of? Was I just becoming this person just so that person can get the love that they're used to feeling, but I'm not fully getting the receiving end back? So that's when those questions pop up in my head. Was I what you wanted me to be? Do you get high? Does your dad cry? Controversy. No, my daddy never cried. I cry all the time. I even cried on this podcast a lot of times. But what kind of controversy does that cause? Like, is the dad supposed to cry? Is supposed to leave that up to the mom? Is that a form of weakness if your dad cries and stuff? Is going to mess up your son life, your daughter life forever? I don't think so. I really don't think so, because my dad never cried, and all his kids are hard. Are in the streets doing what they do. And I was always the weirdest one, but I even bred up those gifts. And when I was doing my thing out there in the streets, his ideology, his way that I just seen in his head, I don't even know what he's really thinking, but just his actions and stuff, I was like, all right, this is the blueprint. This is the blueprint. That's a lot of controversy, because a lot of males in the African American community are not used or not hip to going into their feelings, going into what they're actually feeling in the moment, and not basing it off of a male patriarchy type of thing, where that has been based off of, I'll never get hurt. Man, them niggas was just tripping. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Like, man, they need to get them shit straight. I'm getting my shit straight. I'm getting this money. That's about all I need to worry about. Like, nah, it's a lot more to life than that. Like, what makes you smile? What makes you laugh? What makes you want to get up in the morning? That's not what everybody else chasing. Everybody chasing money. How many people chasing creations? How many people chasing to actually be a creator for themselves? Just Ty. I'm gonna start doing a thing where I don't see how many people are in the room. I don't want to see those numbers. I just want to keep on tying. Remember, the Discord is always open too if anybody wants to jump on in. And let me actually share the page. Let me say live with it. Let me share it on Discord real quick. This is so if anybody want to jump in, the conversation can go wherever it want to go. Love everyone. Yes. And yes, I will tag everyone. Where is that thing? Video. Oh, I don't see it. There we go. Bang. Yeah, but all right, let's get back to the chat. Make it so I can't see how many people are actually here and just flow. Do I believe in God? Do I believe in me? That line again, and back to the hook. Some people want to die so they can be free. When I ran across that line, I was like, yes, a lot of people are like, they want to die so they can finally feel that essence of freedom. That essence of not worrying about the game, the play that's here. And that's where this next line come in. I said, life is just a game. We're all just the same. Do you want to play? That's what he said in the end. Like, do you want to play? I like that he said that part. Because, like, you got to want to play. Like, people want to die so they can be free. But you can feel free playing the game. You can find freedom playing the game. Freedom means different things to different people. To me, it's just as less constrictions as possible. So as long as I don't feel constricted, I'm free. Even if it's something that you can never be totally free unless you really do die, really, right? But still, what is that death? Death is life. Life is death. When you're doing that all at the same time, you're really just tying. You combine your mind with your heart, see what your gut is saying. You're not just going off with your heart and saying, I just want to die. I can't take this no more. And you're not like, man, I want to go in my mind. I'm a just like fuck everybody over because I'm tired of being hurt and stuff like that. You just play out the even feel, see what your gut is saying. No, but let's get through this song. Our Father, and then it go through life is just a game, we're all just the same. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. And then they go through the daily bread. As we forget those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And then, yeah, that's the song. And then, the second hook say, listen, people call me rude. I wish we were all nude. I wish there was no black and white. I wish there was no rules. People call me rude. I wish we were all nude. I wish there was no black and white. I wish there was no rules. And they just keep going back and forth with that play. I really love that Prince put this song out a long time ago. And y'all couldn't see the words. But that's all right. I can show y'all real quick. Yeah. So I ain't gonna settle too much on it. Y'all got that? Another new thing that's been out there in the atmosphere is aliens. Aliens have been spotted. I mean, not been spotted. They always been spotted. But let me see. UFO, Pentagon. Yeah, the government is actually putting out a task force to investigate the UFO sightings that have been seen for a long time, that the people have been saying, the military pilots and everything. We're gonna go over it in this article that I ran across. But that's wow. That's what times are we living in now? Said Pentagon forming task force to investigate UFO sightings. The Pentagon has formed a new task force to investigate UFOs that have been observed by U.S. military aircraft, according to two defense officials. Deputy Secretary of Defense David Norquist will help oversee the task force. So David Norquist, his name is going to go down in history. Previous efforts to look into what the Pentagon dubs unidentified aerial phenomena were led by the U.S. Navy, as many of the documented encounters involved their aircraft. Yes, that's what we've been seeing in all the... Let me make it so y'all can see. That's what we've been seeing all this time. All this time, like in the documentaries, what I've been seeing is that it's always some person that's always in the sky, that's used to seeing anomalies, that if a person on the ground was to see, they'd be like, yo, I don't know what's going on. But they're like, oh, that's how the light refracts off the cloud. Oh, that's how the sun is doing this on the mountain. You got to be careful of this and that. So they used to all of that. So when a person that's highly trained in the sky, highly experienced in the sky, is reporting unidentified flying aircraft, one should bat a few ears. So now that's what the government is finally saying. They a task force. This the same space task force that Trump was talking about before. Previous experts. Yep. The Department of Defense did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Members of Congress and Pentagon officials have long expressed concerns about the appearance of unidentified aircraft that have flown over U.S. military bases, posing a risk to military jets. There is no consensus on their origin, and some believing they may be drones potentially operated by earthly adversaries seeking to gather intelligence rather than extraterrestrials. Wow. Yeah, that was another thing that they used to say in the movies. Well, what if it's from China or from Russia? We really need to investigate this. Like, they was already saying this in movies. So why are they just now doing this in real life? I mean, in this life. Hey, I'm happy they finally doing it. Donald Trump. Oh, they talking about that video that we shown in the last podcast that we found out actually came out in 2017. And that they were just officially recognizing it. When I mean officials is the governments and stuff like that. So it's the governments and stuff like that. So now, where we leave off at, the videos released by the Pentagon appear to show unidentified flying objects rapidly moving while recorded by infrared cameras. Two of the videos contain service members reacting in awe at how quickly the objects are moving. One voice speculates that it could not be a drone. Yeah. President Donald Trump called the footage hell of a video and told Reuters he wonders if it's real. In May, CNN obtained hazard reports detailing encounters between U.S. Navy aircraft and unidentified aerial phenomena, said the Navy Safety Center. Unidentified. The unknown aircraft appear to be small in size, approximately the size of a suitcase. The silver in color. Wow, so this is the New Times. All of these ads. I guess the article ends right here. The Pentagon had previously studied recordings of aerial encounters with unknown objects as part of a since-shuttered classified program that was launched at the behest of the former Sen. Harry Reid of Nevada. That program was launched in 2007 and ended in 2012, so they said, according to the Pentagon. Yeah, that's according to the Pentagon. But because they assessed that there were higher priorities that needed funding. Oh, get the fuck out of here. They know that they were still doing that. They're going to say that they didn't have, wow, they cut the funding because it wasn't worth looking into. But it was actually studied 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, for 5 years it went by. And y'all know about Operation Blue Book. Operation Blue Book. That's one of the famous things. Project Blue Book. And that was one of the first CIA government books that came out investigating UFOs and stuff like that. The United States Air Force retired to the custody of the National Archives' records on Project Blue Book relating to the investigation of identified flying objects. Project Blue Book has been declassified and the records are available for examination in our research room. The project closed in 1969 and we have no information on sightings after that date from this group of people. But the people that put together the actual book was the United States Air Force, the Public Affairs Division, and the Wright-Patterson AFB. Or is this the address? I think that's the address. But yeah, that's deep in the conspiracy. I remember about the Majestic 12 and stuff like that. Just know this stuff been going on for a long time. Long time. People wrote books about this. People documentaries. I've been tying on this. And I'm only 28. I wasn't even alive way back then. Some awesome times ahead. Some awakening times, some transformational times, some mind-shattering times. But really, it's not mind-shattering. It's really mind-expanding. Because if your mind is shattering, that means you're dead. Or whatever dead even means. I don't even know what death means anymore nowadays. Yeah, Project Blue Book, aliens, the U.S. government, cover-ups. Y'all been hearing this for a long time. And now y'all seeing this on y'all major headlines. CNN. These are all local news stations. New York Times, that's the article we went over in the last podcast, so be sure y'all check that out when we went over this article. Just see what come up when I type it in the news, when I type this in. Like the Pentagon formed a task force. Now, I guess that's all they got right now. Let's just see what's in the news regularly for Pentagon. But I think everybody is on this. And yeah, that was the awesome thing. Tom DeLonge. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Shout outs to Piano Key, because he put me onto his book that I was listening to the audiobook. I didn't finish it, but he was saying a lot of information that I was running across during my studies and in my studies and in my experiences, and even the stuff that I didn't even run across that I just was like, thought I was making up, but I was like, knew was something to it. He was saying a lot of similar things, and he was on the Joe Rogan podcast trying to display a lot of this information to the public, and people wasn't really hearing it. But he was saying how he's working with this guy right here. He's working with people from the CIA, people that don't want their names disclosed because they have high military rankings. And he's like, they're saying that it's spacecraft out here, that they have objects and materials that they don't really know how it works. but they have the material. And he was talking about the red shifts and how they can move through time and bend time around them so that they can space around them, because space-time is connected. If you shout outs to Einstein with the net and how gravity and space-time is all connected and objects warp the space-time. So if you can get into actually, it goes far. I don't have the tech right now. But Tom DeLonge, he's part of the reason that the task force was started by the Pentagon. I don't know where I read it at though, but I was running across them mentioning him, saying that he had documents that he presented to a certain group of people, and then I'll put in my own words, it was just on and popping from there. It was on. Wait, what is this? Anyways, interesting video. Oh, this is from him. Let's see what this is. This at the beach? Yeah, this at the beach. Just see something shoot across the sky real quick. He just posted this on his Twitter. Any more background information of it? Off his buddy's camera. Oh, that's dope. And I know we go far reach on this channel. So that's how it is on the Psy Tai Podcast. Because I know we talk about aliens, we talk about visiting aliens, we talk to people that have alien visitations, extraterrestrial visitations, extra-dimensional visitations. And we're going to keep on tying on it, because that's the kind of art that we form over here. Staying true to self, staying true to the thoughts. These are the thoughts, these are the ideas that run across my mind, that run across the fam's mind, the people that decide to come to the channel, and even the people that observe the channel. If you're listening, if you ever had any weird occurrence in your life, don't be afraid to tie on it. Don't be afraid to tie on it. And that means wherever you are, whatever you do, just talk. No matter how strange it seems to the friend around you, to the mom around you, and even if it seems strange to them, put it in an art form, show them a meme, write something, and be like, here, I just wanted to tell you this, and be cool about it. We don't always have to be extra weird, like, yo, man, I just couldn't understand it. When really, like sometimes I know I put on that act just because I don't want to come off a certain way, and I want to act like I don't understand what I just went through it, so that the other person can give me validation or something like that. But no, validate yourself sometimes, your own thoughts. Honor yourself. Burning. The cherry had popped off. Started burning my lap. Oh, God. Oh, me, oh, my. But yeah, honor your thoughts, honor your ideas, honor your creativity, honor your organization. Like, a lot of people don't like to be organized. They see organization as a way of getting in the way of things. But I see organizing on a whole nother plan, because when you really letting yourself flow, you'll start coming across ideas, coming across feelings that you weren't used to running across just 5 minutes ago, just last week, just the day before, just 2 weeks ago. So I get myself comfortable with new ideas, comfortable experiencing, what was that? Hey.
Oh, my bad. What up, man?
Hey, being okay? I gotta put in the headphones real quick. If I can find them. Oh, here they are.
Yo!
Hey! Hey! How y'all doing?
Well, how are you?
There we go. Got the headphones on.
A beautiful
right.
day in the neighborhood.
Man, it's awesome. It's an awesome day. It's about to be 105, but I'm all right. That's why I'm going live early, so my computer don't get too hot in the afternoon. Me trying to use it, do all this cool stuff, connect with fam.
Freezing water bottles and putting them by the computer.
Hold on. Everybody jumped in at the same time. Hold on. My girlfriend walked in. The tree right there. But yeah, y'all heard about that, man. The Pentagon making a task force to investigate UFOs publicly and stuff. And I was just going down the list of all the other times they did this. And then just swept it under the carpet after they was finished their investigations.
Right.
I'm telling y'all gotta read God's Man of War by Tom DeLonge, man.
I shouted you out, bro. I got the audiobook.
Oh, word?
Yeah, I listened to like a good 3-4 chapters.
Beautiful. Okay. Yes, I could probably talk to somebody about this.
He was on point.
Yeah.
He said a lot of stuff that I was running across when I was researching shit.
Oh, like everything we've ever talked about on this channel is in that book, and it's just crazy to me. And they're doing the Project Blue Book and everything too, and all those organizations. I think one of the authors of the book actually was in that organization. Not Project Blue Book, but the CIA. Like he was part of the group that was doing that.
Man, and that's the thing. Man, I'm just going through my head like when somebody says something sees something, then they say it. Like, why do it take so much for people to listen? Because these people literally was working with it for so long, and like you'll never hear about these people. But now it's like we hearing about all of them thanks to the internet and stuff like that. Like things can't be hidden no more. Or just like, man, we just started with about this guy.
And the public eye, the Bob Lazar story.
And say that part again.
It kind of started in the public eye with the Bob Lazar story.
True. And then you see how they tried to rape him, make his life horrible, so he was shut up. And now I was on his Instagram, I think last week or when they posted that New York Times article about having the technology and stuff. He had posted saying, "See, I told y'all." You know he had to say that. Let me see if I can find it. Instagram. Bob Lazar.
When the Phoenix Lights happened, they interviewed people in the South Mountain area. No, yeah, we've been seeing those forever.
Wasn't that in Arizona where y'all at? The Phoenix Lights?
That's correct. 96 or 97?
Man, that used to captivate the mess out of me when I was a kid. The Phoenix Lights. I think it was in a movie too before. I watched every single documentary talking about that stuff. The Arizona Lights growing up. I'm about to post it on the for YouTube now.
That was witnessed by the governor too.
Then he go on he was on the news talking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was something. Yeah, he went out saying a lot about it.
Changed up his story after he got out of office.
And we try to act like these people not being talked to. Like, don't say that. Why the screen not changing? Because I think a lot, almost every, and this just me, Ty. I believe a lot of things that we talk about, that we experiencing, and even in myself, how I'll play it off. Like, yeah, I ran across that before. Like, that's really a whole world of it. That's really a whole experience. I just play a lot of things off that I experienced, and now that I'm like going back into and paying more attention to myself. And then I'm seeing reality paying more attention to the same things that I was going back in myself to see. It's like, whoa. somebody posted something about Inner Earth. I think it was formerly known as Psych 55. He just got a bunch of symbols now and just a 5. So I don't know how to pronounce his name. He posted something talking about the hollow earth. And I watched that. It took me about a day and a half to finish watching it. But then when I finished watching it, was this morning? Hold on, I had a lot of THC this morning. What was that synchronicity? The Inner Earth. Oh man, it was something I was watching earlier, and it was not even connected to it, but they was talking about the Inner Earth. And it was just like, man, I was just, hold on, I don't like rambling like this. Let me get with my history. Prince, GTA. Oh, that's what it was. After I got finished watching that documentary, somebody left a comment on a book that I was reading for this channel, where it was a guy's mysterious ventures into the inner earth. So the connection was, I watched that video yesterday, and now a random person from somewhere around the world commented on a video I made about the inner earth. So I was like, whoa. Whoa. So I'm like, all right.
Boomerangs work.
I'm like, all right, universe, as people say in the new age, all right, universe, I see where I got to put my studies at again. Let's see what's going on inside the earth. Because they was talking about in the documentaries about light. Everybody that talks about the inner earth talks about flying ships, flying light ships. That's just normal when you go to the inner earth. And they was talking about all of the maps that used to have, like, point out that it was a hole at the Antarctic or at the Arctic and stuff like that, or it was more land around the Arctic where it wasn't like filled with ice and stuff. And even the legends and the folklores from random places. Don't you know what we were saying? How did the Mayans come up with pyramids and the Egyptians come up with pyramids? They was tying on that, saying there was a lot of different cultures and religions that have this inner earth as part of their structure of like a actuality, a reality, like it's some beings down there. Man, and it was some people, it was this Navy guy or somebody that worked in the military for some country, and he was telling how him and his dad traveled to this place, like witnessed this place, and was greeted by people. It was a holographic shield up so that you can't really tell, but they put it down because they knew how his heart was or something. And then the story when he went back was they locked him up at a mental hospital. His dad died on the way back, so he couldn't like affirm saying, yeah, we did see this. So it was just him coming back and then like, yeah, I was here and there and saw this, and they locked him up in a mental institution. I'm like, huh, that must mean he was speaking some truth.
Have you crossed anything?
Yeah, microphone is really low. Being okay. Let me turn this all the way up. But the synchronicities and everything is becoming real. Let me actually, the book I was reading for background exile was called Ethadortha. Let me see how to spell that. And it was a book I randomly came across when I was like really trying to find all my esoteric books and stuff, and like I need information. And somehow this story book just came up. And the way that it's written is the guy says that it's an actual story that he got from somebody else who told him to write the book. It's like, it's a lot of in and outs, because in the story they try to write it, it's like written like it's an actual thing, but it's weird. It's weird. Because I'll have to admit to all of my crazy, which I will. There's like the book was published as just a normal book, but the actual book is a historical account when you actually read it.
Right.
Like I actually man, it's wild. And when I was first reading it, the guy was talking about how he was sitting down reading the book, and I mean coming across the synchronicities was just astounding when I was reading the book. Like what was going on in my actual life. So I was like, man, I really believe this guy. And he was taken by this being to the inner earth, and the journeys, it was giant mushrooms, it was an inner sun.
Right.
And for most people, they like, how is that possible? Like, how is the physics of that possible? But how is any of this possible?
Cell mitosis is complete magic.
Yeah, isn't that how cells divide and have a complete copy or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how does that happen? And people scared of cloning. Inner Earth. Let me look up some pictures of Inner Earth. Hollow Earth. We heard about a lot of things. But it just was
Halls of Amenti.
Halls of Amenti?
Thai. Yeah.
Where's that from again?
The golden tablets. Emerald tablets.
Got it.
Can y'all hear me?
Now it's loud and clear.
All right, cool. Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, mitosis you were just talking about. So like, I was like, at some point obsessed with like the concept of twins. Like, if we all enter this world at a certain time coordinate with a certain time and location, like, not to be too vulgar, and I'm gonna get vulgar here shortly, but not to be too vulgar. Technically, like the birth canal is like a portal to this dimension. Like, we're all coming through that portal. But for two different creatures to come through that portal is like, that blew my mind that could even happen. Now, I speak this up because orange juice, yes please. I speak this up because something random happened when you were talking about synchronicities and like the book and everything that didn't matter. So there was like a YouTube subscription channel that was like that came to my feed. It was like, why orbs are important, and click on this to see some of the not creepy orbs, but just like, you know how like pictures have orbs and stuff?
Yeah.
And like what that means?
Uh-huh.
I noticed this YouTube, and I ain't trying to get you a strike, but I was watching an adult video like within the last 12 hours. Mm-hmm. And I was distracted because it was broad daylight, but the video caught like an orb to the right, and I was more into the orb. I was like, yeah, like, it blew my mind. I was like, what in the world? I don't know. Like, and it's the random synchronicities like that, because I would have never, my mind just went to immediately nerdy place once I saw that. Like, it's like, it's just, I can't escape it. Like, I can't escape this nerdy stuff that we're on. Like, I can't wait for us to talk more about that book. Matter of fact, that Tom DeLonge book. Have any chapters so far spark your interest yet?
And all of it did, but I had to refresh my memory on it. It was about like 2 weeks ago when I only read like 4 chapters.
Man, okay.
But he was throwing everything was like something to get into, like every page. Mm-hmm. Every page. I wish it was a book copy I can bring up. Like, if I can, I had to. Yeah, while we talking, I'm gonna log into my Audible account so I can bring it up.
Shoot, I do have the digital copy of it. If I can get that to you, I will.
All right.
So that's helpful if you don't want to search stuff.
He's talking about the aliens coming in. I think I got to the point where he's talking about manipulating DNA or something like that.
Yeah. See, this is stuff I want to talk to people about, man.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Because
coming down, manipulating DNA and just changing the reality for itself.
And it's something that's been going on. Technology has been retold for generations. Like, when you talk, like the synchronicities between like Zeus and our Christian God and Jesus and Hercules, something being half man, half God. The whole serpent thing from the Garden of Eve, and what if the serpent was actually the good? Like, what if everything you've been taught is wrong? Like, is incorrect? You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's the winners who rewrite history. So the fact that we talk about this all the time, Christianity, where they have you drink the wine and eat the blood of Christ. What if that was originally mushrooms? Honestly, just keep diving in more to it. The book is really about psychedelics. That's the whole point why I'm always saying everyone from our community needs to read it, because what it boils down to is psychedelics. Like all the alien talk, all the historical talk, like they nail everything right on the head. But they're like, if you want these answers, take journeys. But the journeys that you take kind of reinforce this even without reading the book. But the book lets you connect so many dots, Ty. I can't stress that enough.
I'm gonna get deeper into it. I'm gonna get deeper. Yeah. But yeah, manipulating our DNA and the reality of all of that.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening, man. Did you hear Ancestry.com, 23andMe just got bought by like a billionaire company, like a business company. They have nothing to do with DNA. Kind of like how Bill Gates had nothing to do with pharmacology, but now he's creating the cure to COVID. You know what I'm saying? So all those people who donated their DNA, and I've had trips like that where it's like, yeah, excuse me, I'm eating my lunch on my lunch break right now, but we freely give our information out, whether it be the internet, whether it be us spitting on the pavement. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how mushrooms can grow, like fungus. We have these tiny. He mentioned the cell splitting earlier, but we have these tiny microcosms within ourselves, within each cell, like bacteria, like just little worlds within ourselves, like on everything. Like there's a show on Netflix called Connected where they show how everything is connected from like I said, the spit that you put on the ground to the DNA that you gave to 23andMe, the poop that goes down the toilet, like all that has traceable information. Like this was the Matrix or a video game. All that is, every single thing has a purpose and a connection and a researchable information. It's just a matter of decoding it. Like every single thing. Like we're talking on a computer right now, but you can look at your wall and it's all made of the same stuff, and it's just a matter of understanding it, man. Yeah, exactly.
How was
like a video game.
It really is. That's why the hippies and us saying it's all just energy.
All just energy, exactly.
It's all, but now we're getting more technical about that energy. So ourselves in this conscious state, that like point that we in, can start doing making some different moves. Like the as above, so below. And the psychedelics, like you were saying, all throughout time, see in the Renaissance and stuff like that, like Leonardo da Vinci, he used to draw UFOs in the background of his paintings and stuff like that. And for a while he disappeared. He used to visit a cave when he was a kid. Oh, I gotta look this up. Da Vinci cave, and it was some missing years of his life or something like that. And I was like, yo, like he was really diving deep, like he was letting his mind just go, dealing with whatever plants was around. Because whenever an awakening happening, like we're in an awakening period right now, like with DMT and mushrooms and stuff like that. Like it was the 60s, it was the Renaissance. Like what psychedelics they had then? They wasn't just painting all those things for no reason. They just say, oh, well, I can paint these masterpieces that's going to be existing for millennia. They was really in tune, like seeing some wild, amazing things. And then they was like, I got to paint this. And then sometimes they had to paint it under their architecture. Like they had to paint angels and stuff like that because the Christian church, they had to get their money from somewhere.
Yeah, bro, in the last 100 years we've created what would you say, gathered different new psychedelics, like totally new that we hadn't been using really before. Maybe people had in a certain way, but not in this way.
No, not at all. Not at all. Even the way we talking about it, people wasn't even talking about this like 20 years ago.
Yo, I'm telling you, the movie Inception, right? Y'all seen Inception?
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, I have hypothetically, I have the blueprint and I made that freaking machine from inception. It's essentially a gas mask, a vape pen, and then like a water
Yep.
a water hose pump that it would a water hose pump would typically pump water from like one bucket to another or from a sink to a bucket. But I have it just you can duct tape it to allegedly a powerful vape pen with a wide mouth and blast it off, and it sucks the air and it blows it to the mask. Like, so the vape pens didn't exist, and Dimitri's been around for a while, but vape pens didn't exist, and so that's one of the newer ways that we have it. It's honestly, if you take X, have you ever had to like speak to me like, wow, I'm actually impressed with this technology you have? Like, I've had it talk to me where the vape pens are just impressed with the fact that they can be.
No, I haven't built the technology like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So
Built a pyramid.
it's just crazy. Yeah, you have so much new stuff around. Like that 4-ACO is crazy. I haven't done LSD. I've had Lucy for a while, but we've never done it.
It's been on my mind for like 2 weeks. I was thinking of just buying some ALAD 25. I think that's what it's called. It's like a molecule off from LSD because I can't find it around here, especially since Corona. Nobody outside.
Gotcha.
It's been on my mind for a while too. I want to do some acid. Get some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I ran across that Leonardo da Vinci when he was talking about that cave. He only wrote about it for like one paragraph, but he used to say that Leonardo details his useful adventures finding a vast and mysterious cave. He describes being on the edge of this dark cave and saying that he felt terrified by the darkness of that cave and what might be within it. On the other hand, he felt a certain desire to try to understand what was in there. And then they just asked him the question of what he was looking at, because he used to draw. I'm gonna put it in Discord too. He used to draw strange creatures, like creatures with weird shape, like not human shaped heads at all, and that in his notebooks and stuff. He used to like do masterpieces drawing angels and stuff, but when you looked in his workbook, he had, in fact, aliens. I'm gonna post this inside the Discord. Bang, bang, bang. They said, what in the world was he looking at? They're often slightly creepy. They got this strange presence to them. They are often misshapen faces, elongated skulls, flattened faces, very easily. I don't know about monstrous. Just gotta find the love in everybody. Encountered creatures. Many people think that Leonardo encountered creatures that look like this, so Leonardo went to the mysterious cave to master creativity from extraterrestrials with some sort of insanity to discover himself. And then this guy just giving off his things. Because he did come out with a lot of inventions too, I forgot. I know I get in that invention mind off the psychedelics. And Piano, can you invent all vape pen technology that's like interdimensional? That's way beyond what I'm working on.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It exists. It freaking exists, man. And it all came to me in a dream. That's the craziest part. It's like I was sitting on the water pumper for like months because we were having issues with our washing machine, and I bought 2 of them after like the stores opened after the COVID went away, kind of whatever. When they opened up the stores, Burlington Coat Factory was like dead, totally empty. And I went in there in the electronics section, and it was like half off on everything in the store, and these things were like $5. So I was like, well, I'll just get 2 of them. So I got 2 of them for $2.50, and they work well. And then I was like, well, air and liquid are just one and the same. I don't know, like, if it could pump liquid, it could pump air. Air is lighter than liquid. Yeah. So I saw it just sucking the vapors and pumping it through the other side. And I was like, okay, well, that could work. Because then I had another dream where, like, the dude got, killed by the police or whatever, and there was riots and everything. I had a dream where, like, I had this, like, Ghostbusters backpack, like how like the yard workers. I don't want to say Mexican men, but like the dudes who do yards. A leaf blower. I had a leaf blower full of DMT, and I got between the police and the riders, and I was like, everybody chill the fuck out. And I just hit everybody, man, and everybody was like peaceful and loving after that. So from there, watching Inception, I was just there's MASH, you can get off the Amazon, and it works, man. Like because with Rick Strassman, they were doing intravenously. I don't want needles.
With needles, right?
The spirit molecule book. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So if I put people down, I'll put them down like Inception, like exactly like Inception.
It's this other movie I was watching called Otherworld, and it was like, what if these scientists invented a technology that could allow you to experience another world? And I think it's on Netflix or something like that. Oh, I forgot the technology already. Dang. I was thinking if it was a gas mask type of thing. But they go to another place and it's just all trippy and psychedelic and stuff like that. Not with colors, but just with the feeling of you in another place.
Oh, I'm about to get back to work in a couple minutes, but I had an idea earlier that I wanted to run past you.
What's that?
Since you have the Audible book, and I know the podcast and YouTube and copyright infringement and whatnot, but since you have the Audible book, I would love, even if it's just me and you, but anyone who's really interested in this, on your channel, True Life's channel, I've seen people like stream live movies and stuff for discussion and stream this and stream that. Yeah. If you wanted to do it on your channel where you would stream that audiobook and we can talk and pause and like really dive into it, chapter by chapter, week by week, whenever you want to do it, I would totally be on board for that, man. Like, it's a really powerful read, and I'm down for that if you are open to it.
You just started a whole new series.
I hope so.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'll stay connected with you with times and stuff because I know you'll be working.
Yeah, I'm about to punch in right. I literally just punched back in, so I'm gonna have to tap out. But yeah, man, definitely hit me up. I'll be listening in, and I'll try and type on YouTube as well. But I'm really, really excited you downloaded that book so we can talk more about it.
All right, bro.
All right, fellas. I'll get at you later, X.
Peace.
Later, Ty.
Have a beautiful day.
You too, brother.
Thanks for coming by the Psy Tai Podcast. Hey, Exile.
Yo.
I was running across more information on where is that thing? I lost it. On Da Vinci and being in the caves and stuff, and what this guy was just writing about it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, because that's what I was getting into. Leonardo da Vinci, he made a lot of inventions that was from his imagination that he didn't have the technical know-how to produce. Like, he ain't have metal and stuff like that, but he's seen it, sketched it out.
Like a wing?
Yeah, the wingsuit thing. Yo, the tank. Let me zoom in on this.
Yeah.
So,
an amphibious vehicle. I think he invented an amphibious vehicle too, or something like that.
Imagine, somebody said, imagine that you designed the iPhone 500 years ago, but you couldn't make it happen. That's what's happening. And for the folks tuning in to our conversation, you can be part of it too. We're tying on psychedelics in the Renaissance era, and how Leonardo da Vinci was coming out with all these inventions. He drew these misshapen creatures that like resemble aliens and stuff like that. And he was a really out there he was a far out guy. Imagine having a cup of coffee with Leonardo. It said, I always been amazed so I feel some. No, I don't know what he's talking about right there. In the last quote, Exile, it said, Leonardo's last words were, I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have. He was a genius.
I think that might just be a stigma of the greats then. The great, like you just never feel like you've reached that, there's more to do. And if this life doesn't end, then yes, there will be more to do.
Yep. And it never does end in my book. Whatever book I'm in, it don't end. Oh, that's funny. And what you also brought up, Exile, was the Emerald Tablets, the Halls of Amenti. When we were talking about the inner Earth, I pulled it up. And the first words, you already know it. That's why you brought it up. The first words is deep in the earth lie the halls of Amenti, far beneath the islands of the sunken Atlantis, halls of the dead and halls of the living, beneath, bathed in the fire of the infinite all. That's all the poetry with it. Far in the past time, lost in space-time, the children of light looked down on the world, seeing the children of men in their bondage, bound by the force they came from beyond, knew they that only by freedom from bondage.
Could you read a little bit slower?
Oh, gotcha. Far in the past time, lost in the space-time, the children of light looked down on the world, seeing the children of men in their bondage, bound by the force that came from beyond, knew they that only by freedom from bondage, that's a sentence, could man ever rise from the earth to the sun. Down they descended and created bodies, taking the semblance of men as their own. The masters of everything said after their foreman. The masters of everything said after their foreman. Oh, gotcha. I got how they said word in that. They saying the beings, that those are the masters of everything. We are, the quote, we are they who were formed from the space dust, partaken of life from the infinite all, living in the world as children of men, like and yet unlike the children of men. Then for a dwelling place far neath the earth crust, blasted great spaces they by their power, spaces apart from the children of men, surrounded them by forces and power, shielded from harm, they the halls of the dead. Let me see how long this is. But yeah, this article is talking about, guys, these beings that live under the earth, in the hollow earth. And we was talking before about the hollow earth theory. Hey, Astro Way, much love, time working, but I wanted to stop and tell you that I appreciate all the lessons I've learned from these podcasts. Hey, bro, I appreciate that. I appreciate you too, bro. You've been with the channel for the longest of times. A lot of motivation you gave me, bro. And shout outs to Blue. Hey, Blue. Hopefully you're having a good day. The Discord open, Blue, if you want to jump in. I know you know where it is. And we got back to the Crystal Links. Well, that's the name of the website, Crystal Links. And it's
I've been on there for years, over a decade.
Wait, you've been doing what? It zoned out.
Using Crystal Links.
Oh, Crystal Links website.
Yeah.
Imagine the people that made it, where their mind is at.
She lives in New York. It's one woman, supposedly.
Whoa! And this is her magnus opus, her great work.
I would say.
Mighty, it says there. Let me go down a little bit. The halls of Amenti. Yeah, so I'm gonna post this link right here in the chat right now for everybody. If y'all want to run across it,
say that you can read that golden or emerald tablets about 10,000 times and get something.
Yeah.
Each time.
Okay, let me become the teacher of men, letting them on word. Yeah, I had to go through this and read it all. But that's dope that in the Emerald Tablets they talk about the people that went under the ground, or that took the semblance of men and went underground. Because that's what the other legends I was reading about the Hollow Earth was saying, was that they're men, but they're not men. Like they're not human. They're not humans. They just take the form and the semblance of them for whatever reason. Whatever reason that is. I was watching this movie Exile with Jack Nicholson yesterday called The Knowing. You ever hear of that?
I have.
Yo, that movie was awesome.
I haven't seen it yet.
And I was about to not watch it. And I was like, I need to go to sleep. But I turned it on like 12 o'clock and went off like 2 something. That movie, oh, you want some spoilers? I mean, would you kill me if I gave you some spoilers?
No.
But
not
let me
in this
look it
life.
up at the same time. That's why I sense it. I'm like, yeah, I know life. But The Knowing in this movie, the guy, he was young. It was these young people, and they was in school. They wrote out a time capsule, and they buried it. And then years later, Jack Nicholson. I just know him always as Jack Nicholson. I don't never really know his name in the movies he play in. But Nicolas Cage. I keep saying Jack Nicholson. I'm like, that sounds like somebody else. I'm just confused. Nicolas Cage.
Like, yeah.
Nicolas
It's an older one, right? Like 2011 or something.
Like 2009, right around that time.
9, yeah.
But in the movie, the guy, there's a lot that happened in that movie. But one of the things
They found the thing.
Yeah, they took out the time capsule and they found out it was this girl that was writing things that actually happened during the time that the capsule was in the dirt. So then they was like, wait a second, what else could be happening? Well, only Nicolas Cage, because, you know, the roles he play, he's like, oh, I got to figure, like, what's going on with this? So he was all decoding
like
it.
the thinking man.
Yeah, he's the thinking man for all the movies he's in. Like the conspiracy guy that actually uncovers the conspiracy. And it's like, finds out to always be true. So I'm glad he get to play that out in his life. But he decodes it, and they start bringing up the Hebrew code and stuff. I remember researching that, how people would break down the Torah and say that it has a mathematical language to it that predicts future events and has predicted events that people just didn't know that it was predicting. So he was taking that know-how and went with it. And
hold on, let me tie on the Hebrew for a minute, because it does make sense. If you draw a line on a torus, you're familiar with the shape of a torus?
Yeah.
Okay, if you draw a line on a torus, it's not going to be straight. But if you connect the points on a torus and then rotate it in, all the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, you can get all the letters of the Hebrew alphabet from that symbol, from that representation. But yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, that came from I think Nassim Harameem's work, and then somebody else that I was researching at the time.
I was just typing in Taurus, showing people the picture of it and stuff, so we all on the same page.
Kind of the shape of an apple.
Yep. Yo, you stole my example. That's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to cut you off while you was talking. I said, yeah, like an apple, because I remember the documentary.
Yeah, I was just
talking
saying
about
it for you.
I just gotta show the people that we are psychic and that they're psychic too.
That's right.
But yeah, and
What'd they call psilocybin before they knew what it was, knew what to call it?
Wait, what did they call what? It went real low when you actually said the name.
What did they call psilocybin before they?
Oh yeah, telepathy. He's like, we psychic. Oh, if I was on the chat, Blue, you corrected me. Thanks. Hey, they called it telepathy. But in this movie thing about the knowing, well, I don't know how it's going to end. Let me stop trying to plan things out. But in the movie, the knowing, the shout outs to you for putting that in me. But you're like, stop trying to plan your day. I'm like, yeah. But in the movie, he starts decoding it, and it actually starts playing out. Like, he knew that people was going to pass away in this accident, and people didn't believe him. Like, his number one friend didn't believe him, so he thought he was crazy and stuff. But he still was like, no, I'm still going with it. Even though I feel these thoughts, I'm still going to the spot, figure out what happened.
Right.
But in the end of the movie, to find out the children are taken away. His kids get taken away by extraterrestrials. And why I brought that up is because, like in the halls of Amenti, where they said they came to Earth and took the form of humans, of men. That's what they did in the movie. They took the form of men, and you don't really know that they're extraterrestrials. Like I kind of knew they was like something different, but they shedded their skin and they just had these light bodies in the end. And it was this huge, gigantic craft that was in the sky in the end. And me just watching that lit and in the zone, I was like, yo, like, what am I witnessing even watching this through the magic TV screen? Did
they kidnap the children?
No, they asked. They've been talking to them. That was the big thing too. They was talking to them the whole time. And the guy asked them, how do you hear them? And he said, I hear them through whispers in my head. I'm like, for me, that's my inner voice. Like, that's the same whispers I've been hearing.
Right.
I always been saying, I said, I'm gonna go with the kids. That's why I go back to that line that they even wrote in the Christian Bible, where they say, least ye enter, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven, least ye enter as a child, or something like that. Wait, enter kingdom of. Oh, actually came.
That's like the soul being. That's like the weighing of the soul against the feather.
You said like, oh yeah, and with Thoth does, not Thoth, Anubis.
Yeah, in the Egyptian gamut.
Gotta have a heart, guys. Can't be cold-hearted all your lives. But yeah, in Matthew 18:3 it says, and he said, truly I tell you, unless ye change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. And I'm not trying to start no cult. I can already hear the thought in my head of saying, man, we got to be like kids because the aliens are about to come. And we got to shape ourselves up for our upcoming saviors and messiahs. I'm not saying that. Let's go on the record, because I remember Exile saying we on a public forum. Not saying we're looking out for some alien saviors, but I am saying that I am experiencing in my life encounters with these things and thoughts in the back of my heads, and relying on the thoughts and knowing that is me, and what is the back of my head is just the front of my head now. It's just like, we say it's the back of our head because, like, man, I gotta pay extra attention to it. But when you start getting in the flow, that's just you start working on that being your normal attention as much as possible.
However much you squeeze your hand, the more leaks out your fingers.
More juice. More lemonade.
So you try to grab and hold on to it, but it's like you can't grab on and hold on to it. No, you are it.
Yeah.
You gotta move with it. You can do things. You can tack. It's a boating thing, you know. Even though the wind may be coming against you, against your direction that you want to go, you can use that wind and use it to propel you towards where you want to.
The master sailor. They knew all about those concepts when they was just out on the boats.
That's the empty-handed combat you see Kalindi doing, and that's the Aikido flow that you see.
I took Aikido when I was in high school.
You did?
Yeah, they offered it. We had to take it every Friday. So yeah, I know about.
They offered it, but you had to take it.
Yeah. You know how that goes. School. They like, yeah, this is cool. It's going to help you. You should do this. You're doing this. You're going to experience this. But man, I was like, all right. I used to like Aikido. Me and my friend used to always play around and stuff like that more than anybody else, and like spar and stuff. But it's not real sparring in Aikido. But we used to just joke around extra. But yeah, self-defense.
One of the first things that you learn is the interactions with the ground, because you're going to be there often.
How to tumble,
you want to know how to rebound from that.
That's the same thing with skateboarding. I was telling Jamina, I was saying, you gotta learn to fall. before you really learn how to skate. Before you even get into skating, really, it's good to learn how to fall. Even learn how to fall off steps and off a trick so that you don't hurt yourself. And then once you're there, you feel more confident because you're like, all right, at least I know how to fall. I ain't scared, as The Weeknd said, I ain't scared of the fall.
Right, you got the schematics of how this body operates in certain conditions. So now you can be like, oh, I'm comfortable with doing it like this now, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And Blue, she said, wow, that's how the mushrooms talk to me. I don't get visuals, but I get voices. Yeah, I get strong voices. I don't get visuals either. I haven't had visuals. I'm not gonna say I don't, because I don't know. But that's why I want acid, so I can get some visuals. But yeah, the mushrooms, I get voices. I get the commanded voices and stuff. And in the show, the wrap up with the show, they went up into space and they was talking to them the whole time, so they felt comfortable. At first he was like, my dad can't come, but then the dad had to be comfortable with letting his son go and knowing that it was for the best decisions and everything like that. And why this archetype is so powerful to me, why I brought up the being a child and stuff and getting in touch with your childhoodness, no matter what age you are and stuff. Well, you ever hear of a book by I think it's C. Arthur Clarke or some name like that, Childhood Zen?
Yes, sir.
Oh, did you read the book or see the show?
I read the book.
Oh, I've read the book.
Arthur C. Clarke is a very good author.
Yeah, Arthur C. Clarke. Gosh, there we go. I read the book and I saw the show. The book was astounding, and the show was good as a presentation because the way they presented it, like I know that man, I don't like to be looked at a certain way, so I don't say certain things in certain ways. But XR, I'm in touch with so much that I don't be believing it myself. Like I told you and Tainow Key earlier, as I have so many experiences, but I don't be believing the deepest of thing. Like I be believing in the things I could talk about, even things that most people not even talking about. But for me, it's even deeper things than that. Some things I even forget about.
Yes, sir.
Affected me so much. Like when I was watching Childhood's End on the TV, I was seeing how the producers was presenting it as a limited series, and then once it was on TV for the 2 weeks that they showed it, they never did any more reruns. They never showed it on TV. They never showed any more commercials like saying buy the DVD or download it on Amazon Prime or it's on Netflix or something. It was never talked about again. But the message I got from it was so absolutely powerful. Oh gosh.
There's many things that go beyond words. I think a good word that I picked up a few years ago was ineffable. Things
Ineffable.
that you just ineffable.
Ineffable.
EFF. EFFABLE.
I think, yeah, I seen that word. If I seen the word in my head, I can remember it and use it a lot easier. Yeah.
Right.
Ineffable.
Right. Not because
because
our
there's
language
no
is
words
very
for everything. Yeah.
Our language is very limited, and most of the time these things we talk about can be fractally distilled into a poem or a picture or a movie or a song, dance, some kind of emotive value, because ether is always trying to get to the formed, and formed is trying to get to the ether. This is this interplay, this upright infinity.
Oh, upright infinity switched it up on us. I'm showing a rank Childhood Zen for people that never witnessed it. But in that show, they had, in the book and stuff, they had a figure come down that was an alien and was watching over humanity and stuff like that. And then the end of the show, or the book, He takes away they take away all the kids. They're called the Watchers.
Yeah.
And they take away all the kids and destroy all the adults. But the kids was all starting to wake up to psychic abilities and all these newfound things that we tie on here on the channel when it comes to moving your aura around and having perceptions beyond perceptions, and that we don't even have the words for it yet. And with did you see, I gotta show you a picture of how they made him look in the show Exile, because they straight up made him look like how the Christian church made Satan look.
Really?
There it is. And I was like, yo, this is really awakening people up to a lot of stuff, a lot of things that they're not comfortable with, a lot of shapes and forms, and like people scared of spiders. People would demonize a spider and be like, yo, that's a demon. Or even for people in the hood, they would demonize a roach and be like, yo, a roach is the shape of a devil. Like,
our current view of the devil is recent, like as of the 1400s or 1500s, she got hooves and horns.
And then they take that from Pan, the forest guide in Norse
I think
mythology
there's
and
some.
stuff?
Yes, I think you could trace that back to probably that
Because they wanted to demonize them, so they was like.
Another thing that got demonized was black cats. In ancient Egypt, black cats were like seen as royalty, and they would warn you when bad spirits were coming. But then once Egypt got colonized and whatnot, they made black cats bad and signs of evil. Like literally just flipped the script on the whole concept.
Man, you about to
So
make me
black,
cry, bro. I miss
the only reason
I miss my cat. You just about to make. I miss my cat. Shadow. I'm not Shadow. Oh wow, that was my other my grandmom had a black cat. Had two black cats. I had a black cat. And I'm trying to think of his name. Wow, it really went past me. That's sad. That's even sadder.
One called Malachi, or my friend had one called Malachi.
Malachi? Man, but you can continue what you were saying. I was just going through a memory loop.
Nah, you're good. It's just they rewrite history. So again, black cats used to be like a good thing, and then when they colonized Egypt, they made it into a sign of evil, but it wasn't evil. It was supposed to warn of bad spirits, and the bad spirits came and colonized, and they said black cats are now bad. You know what I'm saying?
Get away all these warning signals. We know who you are, cat. We know your presence. We gonna same thing they did to black people.
The only reason they think 13 is bad is because Knights Templars died on Friday the 13th in like 846. So now there's like no 13th floors on fucking build
on skyscrapers and stuff. Yep, they got rid of that. That's why I was happy about that's why I'm thankful for my life and the music that I listened to growing up.
You ever listen to Stevie Wonder Superstition?
Steve, yeah, very superstitious. He knew.
When you put your belief in something you don't understand.
Believe in things that you don't understand. And what's that word he say
you
after
suffer.
that? Oh, he say you.
You believe in things you don't understand, and you suffer. You hold yourself back.
It's a high level of suffering, though. I enjoy this kind of suffering than being like, oh my gosh, this is it. Was just in front of my face. I know I'm in it for the journey.
Going onto a baseball field, you never stepped on the lines.
See?
Bad luck.
Why is that?
It was
I never knew
just
that.
bad luck.
Wait, give me 1 second. Jamina, what was my cat
You'll
name?
see it when baseball play at a baseball game. Watch it next time.
Not Misty. Yang. That was my cat name. Yang.
There's certain superstitions that still abound through our culture.
Yeah.
Hey guys, my bad. I was screaming over y'all. I didn't have my headphones in. But yeah, my cat name was Yang. That was his name. He was a big sturdy cat too. Yeah, I named him that on purpose. He was my Yang. And he was real aware too. He was like a big, sturdy, long hair, black cat. He was like a little puppy. He really was. But now that I have a puppy, I see the difference. But no, he still had a lot of traits that showed that he was aware, that he knew what was going on and stuff like that. And I had him from birth. His mom name was Misty. It was a gray long haired cat. But then she left to run the streets when she had her kids. Oh god.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
She never came back after a while. I was like, what? But yeah, that was good times, good times. The only reason I don't have them is because I couldn't afford to bring them on the plane. I had to leave him and my MacBook. And then they both died. Both passed away to another place. My computer got thrown away because they said it was old, even though it was like a 2013 Mac, which is still relevant. And Yang, he was staying where
It's not that old.
What'd you say?
Yeah, it's not that old.
Yeah, no. And Yang, he still had a lot of years. I think, no, that was the other cat that passed away in the fire. But my, Jamina's mom house caught on fire where he was staying at. And one of the cats there passed away. That was like 10 years old. They had for a long time. And my cat just ran away somewhere.
just said hi.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out. But yeah,
Whatever cat passed away, there was a crow that was talking.
That was a crow? A black
It's the same
crow?
time you were talking. Yeah.
The smart crow? They geniuses too. But yeah, a lot of things been
The
demonized.
messages of the dead.
I remember who had a crow on their shoulder? What god was that? And he used to that was a raven. He had a raven on his shoulder and he used to send them out to get messages. Raven on shoulder. They're gonna show Raven on shoulder attack too. Hold on. Odin. That was Odin. Thor's dad.
Odin. One eye. Wait, Odin had one eye.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, a lot, and that's what I was hinting on too. That I was happy about my childhood, even though at the time it kind of seemed depressing. But I always seemed like I was attaching to emotions that just a lot of things that people just was being programmed to be scared of. And I think that's right. I see a lot of youth doing that now, or at least ones that I pay attention to. Like I was into metal music at times, so I was into all the dark stuff and being comfortable with it and stuff. Like, oh, I like 13 because y'all think it's bad. I like 13 and stuff like that.
Hey, I would like to share a trip report if you don't mind, man.
What happened?
So I'm huge in R&B. When you spoke of metal, it made me think about my most recent trip. And my girl is outside right now, but she can like contest to what I went through here. I don't even like talking about it because it was just so crazy. Where do I start here? Let me go ahead and make sure I'm on mute for work. Okay, so I typically trip to R&B, and I love R&B music. So I went and did my most recent trip to a song called Unbelievable by Tracy Spencer. Now, it's an R&B ballad, and I just like it. It's a pretty voice, pretty song, cool vibe from my middle school years. And did a pretty high dose off the vape pen, and the room started getting like angry, like everything was getting twisted and sideways, and just there was this angry vibe, but that I didn't understand at first. But then I understood it was there were entities in the room with me, right, guys? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna give you a hypothetical situation before I go any further. Have you ever like seen like the owner of a dog play fight with somebody, and then the dog's like, "Oh, I want to play fight too." Maybe they're getting serious because I don't know. I can't tell the difference between them being fake or real, so I'm gonna go ahead and bite an ankle or bite a wrist. Not too hard, but just let them know my presence is here. Mm-hmm. So when I'm doing this trip, whatever was there with me is listening to the words. And I can sense this anger building up as the words are going on, because she's just like saying, you know, did you really have to lie to me? Did I really make you unhappy? And it's so unbelievable you would do these things. But whatever was listening to these words was just getting angrier and angrier. By the time the first chorus was over, like I was just like, how you were trying to calm down a dog and be like, it's okay, no, it's okay, it's okay, calm down. Like you would like rub their, like they just didn't have the emotional IQ to understand that was art and not real. But they were looking for an outlet to just. They were like, where is he? Where's this guy that she's singing about? How dare he? Like they really just wanted to take out the anger and frustration they felt emotionally from hearing those song lyrics. And I had to explain to them that like those are just song lyrics. Like it was just art. But it was so powerful that I just like laid in a fetal position for the following two songs in the bed, just being like, man, what have I done? Like this is just, it's so powerful. But yeah, so essentially the trip was whatever entities came to visit were listening to the song lyrics and just could not comprehend the fact that it was simply art and not real lyrics, like not a real situation. But it was like they were not going to stand for anyone being hurt or heartbroken intentionally. And the song made it seem like that's what the guy did. I'm sure we all make mistakes, but again, it was just a song. But that song brought out, and I wasn't scared, but I sensed anger. So I didn't sense evil. Like it wasn't an evil thing. It was just more like anger. Kind of like if there was a dog and his owner was play fighting with another person, just one of his friends, and then the dog's just gonna jump in there and hey, I'm here. Do you need me? I'm here. I'm needing. Tag me in. I got you. Are you guys still joking? I don't know if you're still joking anymore, but I'm ready. Like so. It was that's the most recent trip that I had, and I have left it alone ever since.
Yo, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
It has me thinking about just because all I can think about is I can think about experience too, but what I was thinking about was my experiences with music and how I get involved with it and stuff. Like my girlfriend be telling me, Lil Wayne not going out shooting people, right? Every day. And I'll just be giggling to myself like, yeah, I know. Because I'll be talking about why I don't like listening to Drake, because I was saying he be coming up with certain lyrics and he just make them up. He probably don't really feel like that. And he's like, well, Wayne not really going shooting everybody every day, right, too? It's just a song. And I was like, yeah, I know. So I was thinking past that, because my sense... Because I think a lot of our senses too, like say you didn't say that's just the song and you was like high, like just tapped in off some kind of substance or in your own spirit, and you started really feeling like the song was saying something about something. Like is that the alien? Like what I'm getting is, where do our thoughts really be coming from? Like like where do my thoughts really come from? And is it from, since I'm not in a high dose experience, it's not like I don't get to see the alien right next to me, but is always there. But I can, if I pick up on it, or if I'm picking up or something, I probably think that is me, like Steph Tai, but is something else next to me or something like that. So we get lost in I really get into music, and I'm just thinking about how things are always around us and stuff like that, and how some people, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, music is powerful.
Good.
Music is a powerful thing, and it does create environments and drives you to really do things when you let it. Like some people, I know I play certain musics for certain energies and to get myself in a certain mind state, or if I'm already in a certain mind state, I will play a song that I know fits what I'm doing. It's right here. But I think we're picking up on a lot of these thoughts. And that kid-like energy that I label it as. They say, "Oh man, this song is real. I'm feeling emotional. I'm caught up in this world. Like, who hurt you? Who hurt you? Where you at?" And that was the link that was in my head. It just flashed through my head again. That I didn't know that it's considered a psychic ability, but UL posted it a while ago, a video of somebody saying how they can sense the feelings of people around them by the songs that they're listening, playing, and stuff like that. And that's how I be picking up. And since I get that in tuned in my own world, I'm like, even if people not really in tuned into that much, it's a reason why they playing it. Like it plays out in their life in a mystical kind of way that I won't be able to put my nose on it, but I know it's a feeling that this song, like, this is you playing this song. Like you're emoting this song out through this speaker, but you wish that this was coming out of your being. Like this is coming out of your being to me. So I kind of see what that alien meant is what I'm trying to say. I've been in that human position, I suppose. Or what is human is what I'm really saying. If we've been manipulated so much in our DNA.
Oh man, you have no idea how much I want to talk more about that book, bro.
You know, in our junk DNA and stuff.
Our junk DNA
So
and RNA. So you're on book 1. If you get to book 2, they get into that stuff even deeper. Oh my god! And then DNA, like, so when you get deeper in there, like, they're going to talk about how DNA has just been around and utilized for so many years. Like, they're going to talk about how, like, the Aztecs and whatnot, they glorified blood. Like, the bloodier the massacre, the better. Like, to sacrifice someone, whether they deem that person to be a god or they deem that person to be a sacrifice to the gods. Just like how eventually we're going to get to cloning and replicating and stuff like that using spit and DNA and semen or whatever it is that they're using. But back then it was an article of clothing or a cut of the hair, like hair strands, or a batch of their hair, or blood for not a Ouija doll, a voodoo doll. Like they were using DNA even back then. I'm saying, like, DNA, but they didn't. It wasn't called DNA. It was just they knew the magic of it. They knew the potential of it.
It was where the soul was at.
Yeah, and that's and that and DNA consciousness. That's what. If you get to book 2, it's like the DNA consciousness, like the RNA and the DNA of quantum consciousness. Like we have all our ancestors in us, but we also have like everything in the universe. Like the junk DNA is literally just computer coding to most basic molecule, man. Like, oh my gosh.
It's like being in a game and trying to figure out the C++ coding and stuff. And you like, I don't know what that other stuff mean. That's some other program.
Or a hologram. If you took just a piece of a hologram, you could recreate that hologram because all the light stuff. That's exactly just by taking a piece of a hologram. So it's like you take a piece of our DNA and recreate ourselves.
I remember learning about that from physicists.
Yeah.
And them talking about the holographic universe theories and stuff. And them just saying exactly how you put it. The smallest section can be replicated in a hologram. Because it's all made from the same bits and data. Just gotta replicate it, have that engine to replicate it. And our junk DNA and everything, well, what they call junk DNA, I was on a website now, something trying to say why junk DNA actually matters. I was trying to see what they came up with. Exploring of non-coding sequences increases evidence suggesting non-coding sequences may help cancer and stuff like that. Debate around, but yeah, they going about physical health and cancer and stuff like that. The rest, 98, yeah, there it is. They try to, I look for this percent, 98.5%. They try to say it's called junk DNA. So they've been trying to say they know, the scientists is the day that they know about what makes a human being and what we're capable of. But yet they was calling 98.5% of our DNA junk. Wow. And then it says words without, whoa, this is trippy. In the article after that, it says words without meaning. Nature has a particular way of writing. Our genetic script usually only uses 4 letters, A, G, C, and T. Long combinations of these letters make up our genes, which inform the construction of proteins. But the protein making process is not as straightforward as reading a cookie recipe. Before putting proteins together, DNA gets transcribed into threads of RNA that are chopped and reassembled into smaller pieces. During the chopping and they got me with this word. During the chopping and the non-coding stretches, I was like, we were just talking about that. The junk are discarded, meaning they never even get used to make proteins. Why nature carries so much seemingly unnecessary material in its guidebook is a question that researchers continue to ponder. The most logical explanation is that this junk DNA might not be so useless after all. Duh, it's 98%.
Bro, you've got to read the book, man. All that stuff that you're saying is in there, and then it gets even deeper and connects these dots, man. That's beautiful.
I like how they put words without meaning. Like that's like the mean that I meant to say. I thought it was the opposite though. Like they don't have the words to describe it. That's what I thought they meant. Then I read that again. It's like, huh? But yeah, if it's not doing just the proteins, it's being used for other stuff. And I believe that's why even the phrase blood magic and stuff is so scarred on our society. It's so taboo. It's like, yo, what you talking about? Blood rituals, blood sacrifice, blood this, blood that. Blue said 98% of the things in my house is junk. But believe me, if it wasn't there, my household would not function the same. Nice one. Yeah, what's going on, little Devon? Lil Dole, I can't say it. Lil Double D. Ancestors do live in you after they die. You basically become God when you die, unless you reincarnate in the physical. But I wonder what happens to you if you aren't an ancestor, meaning have children. I think you still get caught up in the mix. You still caught up in the mix. But I remember running across blood stuff when I was running across witchcraft. It was labeled witchcraft and stuff when I was a teenager, and they used to talk about blood and pinching your finger and they wouldn't even give that say pinch your finger, but just the stuff that I was reading, and it would talk about blood and stuff, and I run across saying, oh well, they're just lying, they're not really talking about blood, that's just a metaphor for the stupid people and stuff that's scared and want to get away from it, or like demonize it or something like that. And if you're actually doing that, but then when you go back and see what that's actually been done, and in different ways, like I don't know if I don't got the power to go up there and sacrifice somebody. Well, I don't got that thought process going through my mind. Let's put it like that.
Same.
But yeah, what Piano Key is hitting on about the blood and it being accessed, like what I was going in my experiences with acid and creating the X-Men and stuff like that, was us exploring what the junk DNA is actually capable of and what it's doing, and start activating things, and then people will start saying you got mutant genes and stuff like that. And probably a lot of us are changing stuff around as we speak, but we don't have a scientist that took our DNA when we was 5 and now took it again while we was here and saying, well, this changed, or this seems to be a little more active, or blah blah blah. So we've really gone off of our feelings, which is the magic itself.
You know that shiver you get, not to be grotesque, but that shiver you get after you urinate?
You said the sugar?
Sometimes. The shiver.
Oh, shiver. I was like, sugar. I don't know about that.
Sometimes you get a shiver after you urinate. That's anytime you can get that. Sometimes you do it in trips or doing certain breathing techniques, but that's your DNA updating.
I was drinking some water. Yeah, I had that feeling, but that I'm gonna tie that feeling to the experience then. Because I definitely had that when I was talking about the X-Men and epigenetics and stuff like that, and the ability of genes to actually change and adapt according to the surroundings. And our surroundings are our experiences. So if we're experiencing, excuse me, experiencing these psychedelic trips, whether it's through deep meditations or psilocybin or DMT or even salvia. I never did that, but I'll be reading some stories on it. You're experiencing different realms. Like, as much as you experience getting hit by a car or your first love or your first breakup or your first job or anything that was like your first is like as impactful as that. So the epigenetics is an actuality. Like, it's not something I'm just tying on, making up. It's it's something that happens in our human experience that can be traced. When that nature versus nurture debate that we heard about, that I think is both. In my Thai world, is both. Is nature is like how you started, your starting material, how it will go, and then it's the epigenetics, where you are, the people around you, what religion you grew up in, what culture you brought up in. Grew up in the woods, or you grew up in the big concrete jungle. And it's displayed by the thoughts, your actions, and everything else. So if we experiencing psychedelic trips and we can get our thoughts on telepathy and mentalism, moving objects with our minds. Not even with our minds. That's still old talk. I don't even like using that talk, moving objects with our minds, because like all is mind. Like, I'm always moving stuff with my mind. I'm moving my hands with my mind. So I guess that would go with you. Just have to extrapolate and say all is mind, and then be like, all right, so I can pick that up. But yeah, that's a practice if you want to do that. But a little Divine, you said I would never try salvia. I would have to be prepared to spend like 5-10 years in another reality if I do salvia. That's what I'm thinking. I prepared to go on vacation, real vacation. But yeah, that's the cool things happening. Let me go through, see if I touched on a lot of things I want to bring up in the back of my head.
I posted two things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, two things I wanted to take note of before you go today. One is in the tech channel. It's a PDF by Les Brown. You can find his information on YouTube. It's how to build a pyramid, 3-inch, 6-inch, 9-inch, and up to I think 16 feet tall if you wanted to. It gives you the sides and the length of the ascending parts. If you have those parts, then you can build it that high. And then there's the PDF is he's got videos on the internet, but that PDF goes through some of the information or research that he did, and some of the Russian research too. They did a lot of research on pyramids over like oil farms, oil drill sites, and like places that get a lot of storm activity. Mm-hmm. And then the second thing I wanted to share was the thing posted in general.
Hold on, one second. I was going through. Yeah, I was showing the people the actual PDF, and I was laughing because it said, "Now just think about this." I was like, "Yeah, just Ty." He was talking about you probably want one in your art studio and your daycare. I felt that the pyramids of the world brought in through the centuries, whatever that thorough made secrets there to be seen, but yet unread by blind humanity. Tourist attraction, they didn't put a space at best, were about to play their destined part in the gods' endeavor to save us from the results of our own folly. Humbly enough, I felt that maybe it was to be my part in the universal scheme of things, to be the catalyst which would transform theory into fact, change pyramids from one of the wonders of the ancient world to one of the saviors of the modern. Oh, I'm put this link in the the link is for this in the Discord if y'all want to check it out, and I will post it as well.
There's also a guy
in the chat.
in Chicago who built the pyramid, and a spring started running up underneath his pyramid, and that's like a tourist attraction. You can Google it. It's like gold now.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that because when I get my house, I'm definitely gonna have a pyramid in that thing in my backyard. I thought about that a while ago when I saw them doing it with like pipe cleaners and stuff. I was thinking of that simple way. Just put a tarp over top.
It's just the shape.
Mm-hmm. As long as you can get up in there or stand next to it.
Now, metals or materials do play a part.
Mm-hmm.
In certain areas of the pyramid, it'll be like a amplifier.
Lil D, you said, I hear it's like being under genjutsu from Naruto. I think you wrote that while I was talking about the salvia. Yeah, it probably is like being under a quick genjutsu, a quick eye technique, and you under an illusion in another world real quick. Well, not for a long time. Genjutsus are hard to get out of too, but not really when you get your mind play. It's hard to get. You can't get Itachi in a genjutsu. For all you Naruto nerds out there. And the second thing you wanted to share, Exile, you said it's in
general.
There
It's
we go.
some precepts, some principles, the Reiki principles. And it breaks it down because it doesn't have it's substantial, because it's not like you have to today figure out the rest of your life. It's not like today you got to figure out the whole answer. It's not like you got to figure out all the problems in your past and your family and the world and the country and the whatever you're trying to figure out. No, just for today you can do it like this. Just for today you can do it like this. It's not like it's so. That kind of mindset, I think you already brought into it what you was saying. Like, sometimes we put a lot of our restrictions on ourselves. That can make us better, but overanalyzation separates the body from the mind.
And then you can't tie like that.
Tie-in. Man.
Have the circles separated. Gotta combine all them circles. And then let whatever come
I
out.
appreciate you.
Same, bro. Thanks for sharing this. I'm gonna read it. It says, for today only, do not anger, do not worry, be grateful, be true to your way and your true self. Show compassion. Bear this deeply in your heart, mind, and your gut.
That's right.
Nice. All right, bro. I'm about to tie on out of here. Thanks for spending the morning with us.
Thank you.
All right. And I'm gonna get the clip channel more popping. I gotta spend some work on that so we can chop these things up in the clips, but that's a worry for another day. Thank all of y'all for coming on through. Piano Key for sharing his DMT stories. We're gonna keep tying on the DNA and the manipulation of it and how it's creating the reality that we in, and how y'all just stay tuned. Take part, do some research, or get some experiences, and so you can bring some stuff to the table as well. Anybody who that you fits. And shout outs to Blue. Check out our YouTube channel. Hopefully you have a good day, Blue. And Lil D, King Oz, and Dwayne.
Piano Key.
Bang, bang, bang. There you go. Piano Key. Make that money.
Yes, sir.
Take care of the fam. And keep on creating this technology, bro. We more than what we even realize.
No doubt.
And with that, guys, we all tie, but do we really tie? Sometimes I don't know, dude. Sometimes I really don't know. Till next time.